Today's episode is the first part of building gym equipment as cheaply as possible, and we start with the most common and, let's be honest, most useful thing in the gym: dumbbells. Even though they are simple physical object, you can train every muscle in your body by using nothing else than dumbbells, but at the same time they are disgustingly expensive. And if you are willing to spend just a little bit time and creative mind, you can produce them roughly 3 times cheaper. And I'm not speaking about something like this. We are going to make practical, nice looking and comfortable dumbbells, plus they will be adjustable. Let me show you how to make them by yourself. This video is this type of video where you can replicate everything that you see step by step, if you have 3D printer and access to internet to download the files. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. I live in Estonia and the prices that I show can be different in your country, so upcoming calculations might not be 100% correct in your case. But here in Estonia, 1 kilogram of dumbbell weight equals 3 euro, aka 3.5 USD. So if you want to buy 10 kilogram dumbbell, it will cost you 30 euro, aka 35 USD. And this is the best deal price. The example I just gave you is fixed weight dumbbells. We are going to build adjustable weight dumbbells, and they of course are way more expensive. This is the cheapest option I found, and the maximum amount of weight is 20 kilograms. And this cost 140 euros, aka $165. This means 7 euro per kilogram. And again, this is the cheapest option I found. And if we purely speak about weights, 5 kilogram dead weight costs 10 euro. We are going to build 5 kilogram weights also, and oh boy, you will see how much cheaper we can make them. We will come back to the calculations again after I show you how we can make those dumbbells and weights. Everything starts with the designing. In Fusion 360 I designed right size and shape casing that will be filled with concrete. To know how much volume I need for the concrete to get the right amount of weight, I used material tool in Fusion 360. If you add material density correctly, then you will have the correct calculations how much the part weighs. I designed 2.5, 5 and 10 kilogram weights. For now, this is completely enough. Those are big models and every printer won't fit them. I'm actually lucky that I have Bambulab H2D. I can print easily 2.5 and 5 kilogram weights with this printer and have different colored text. But 10 kilograms don't fit in Bambulab either. The only option is FLSun S1. Actually, I'm even more luckier because PCBWay told me that they can help me and print those models by themselves. So this is exactly what they did. The ones I printed, I used combination of PLA and PTG. The model itself is printed with PTG and supports with PLA. I chose PTG because it has rubbery texture and this makes sense for absorbing a little bit of impact force when the dumbbells hit the ground. Not recommended to throw them away, but this will happen. And it's plastic after all. Overall, I'm happy how they turned out and I don't see anything to complain about. So let's actually get started now. The absolute first step is to protect the surface. We wanna have professional look, so messing up the surface makes it ugly. I have 2 ideas how to do it. One is no-brainer, I just tape the surface. Another option, which I don't know do it even works, is to cover the surface with oil. This theory should prevent the concrete from sticking to the surface, so you can just wipe it off later. I tested this with 5 kilogram weights and later we'll see if it even works. I mean, the 10 kilogram model is actually massive. In software, I didn't understand how big it actually is. I'm really grateful that PCBWay helped me out with this one. This is printed with an SLS 3D printer using nylon. It's remarkable how well PCBWay printed this model. The result is absolutely perfect, as you see on the screen. I have used PCBWay service 5 years already, and I have never complained about their work. Every single time they have done excellent job. But they don't do just 3D printing. You can order parts machined with CNC, injection molded, or even sheet metal fabricated. I don't even know how much I have used their metal 3D printing and CNC machining service. PCBWay has made so many of my videos possible by their excellent service. If you are working on a project and you need something that is made, for an example, with metal, and you don't have right machines, skills or tools to make this by yourself, this is perfect moment when PCBWay can make your life 100 times easier. So if you find yourself in this type of situation, PCBWay is your one-stop solution. Now when the concrete is about to cure, this is the time we can use to build dumbbell handle. We have only one model to print, the grip. I designed it, simple but works. I printed this with PLA. The whole process is insanely simple. First I took M30 threaded rod and cut this to 41 cm piece. This will be the perfect length for the application. After that I screwed 3D printed grip on. And when I reached almost to the middle, I added some epoxy glue to make sure everything stays together. We also need two M30 nuts to hold weight in place. The finished dumbbell handle looks like this. Even though we don't have any weights on, this is already 2.2 kg dumbbell. I underestimate the curing time by about 1 week. I was sure after 3 days of curing, I could resume recording the video. But it took 10 days. Nice. So now 10 days later, when the concrete is fully cured, I started removing the tape. And well, for sure it worked. And the top surface is nice and clean. But remember what I did with 5 kg weights. I sprayed WD-40 on the surface to make concrete non-stickable. And this method worked surprisingly well. The surface is nice and clean, and some particles of the concrete just fell off. So the weights are cured, tape removed, handle built, and steroids injected. Time to see how practical those things actually are. I also ordered a curling barbell for this video. It cost only 22 euro. So first I used this one for 10 kg weights. I added each for both sides. Well, no shit. So what can I say? All this is exactly how 20 kg barbell should feel like. Yeah, okay, I didn't make the barbell by myself, but this isn't the most expensive part either. Changing the weights exactly like a real thing. This is what is going on here. This doesn't look or feel cheap. Weight looks professional, and if somebody walks in your house and see those, you don't need to be ashamed. And they feel different than metal weights. When you move them around, they are like softer or warmer. Well, actually I don't have no idea what I just said, but moving on from the barbells to dumbbells. About what this video is all about actually, yes? So I applied some weights to my homemade handle and screwed the nuts on to hold them in place. And well, oh shit how comfortable the handle feels. This is so different because I'm holding on plastic and it's warm and it feels light, and even though it's not, like I don't know, I'm doing terrible job describing how it feels, but the emotion is positive. Only downside with those ones is the fact that the metal is way more dense than the concrete. That's why those dumbbells are bigger than the regular ones. But they are not so big that they start interrupting the workout. Maybe when we try to make 50 kg dumbbells with this method, then yeah. But now, no. But how much did it all cost? Starting with the handle. 1 meter of M30 threaded rod was 16 euros. But I used only 40 centimeters, so 6.4 euros. 3D printed handle, 130 grams of PLA filament, 2.3 euros. 2 M30 nuts, 1.9 euros. In total, 11.16 euros, or 12.98 USD. Now about weights, starting with 2.5 kg weight. 3D printed PTG filament, 700 grams, 9.1 euro. For all those weights, I used 1 bag of concrete. I managed to use all of it equally for all of the weights, so I asked ChatGPT to make the calculations for me. The concrete for a 2.5 kg weight costs 0.42 euros, times 2 0.84 euros. The total cost for the pair is just under 10 euros. 5 kg weight. Filament 13 euro. Concrete 1.69 euro. In total 14.69 euros, or 17.08 USD. 10 kg weight. I didn't print those models by myself, but if I had done that, they would cost me 23 euros. Concrete only 1.69 per weight or 3.37 for bare. And total 24.69 euros, 30.11 USD. The whole set in total costs just over 60 euros or $70. So is this cheaper than the real things that you can buy in the store made by metal? Well, yes, of course. It's 2 to 3 times cheaper. But we saw on the calculations that the most expensive part were 3D printed housings. That can be easily fixed by using 3D printed reusable molds instead. So that's why I am going to do exactly that in the upcoming video. But for now, if you wanna make those dumbbells by yourself, the models are free to download. Big thanks to PCBWay and thank you for watching. If you wanna support the channel, watch this video more 30 times for YouTube algorithm. Bye.